Hi, welcome to Storytime. Squirrel and I are very excited to read today. We have picked out books to celebrate leaves, lots and lots of leaves. Have you been out on your nature walks and noticed how everything has popped? So many shades of green. So Squirrel and I had fun, didn't we, Squirrel? Yes, we had fun. We collected some from our yard to show you the different shapes. We hope that inspires you to go out and really use your scientist eyes to see the leaves all around your neighborhood today. And then we're going to talk about what you can do with them. A couple crafts if it's rainy out. Okay? Let's get started. Okay, Squirrel, so you're going to sit right so you can listen, and I'm going to show them a few of the leaves that we collected. So I always like to bring something to collect things with, and I got a big old basket this time. We collected some of our favorites, and you can kind of see this is a maple. Beautiful shape, familiar hopefully. A linden. I have some really pretty colored ones. This rose color, and this was one of our crabapple trees in the back. I've got some cedar right here. Can you see that? See how it's kind of feathery? Yeah. So I'm excited for you guys to go see what you can find. Now, if it's raining and you have these leaves collected and you don't know what to do, you can press leaves. So you can take a couple very heavy books, all right, and you put them inside the book and you wait and you wait. You have to be very patient. And then, like magic, right when you forget about them, I'll show you mine. Okay, ready? Here we go. I'll try to do it where you can see all the different ones that I did last fall when they were changing. Do you see? There. These are all pressed in big books. And then you can do cool crafts with them afterwards. And you can go online with your parents and you can discover those. So good luck. It'll be really fun. I also brought a small press to show you. In case you are out and you see tiny little leaves or blooms, and it works the same way. It's really fun, you guys. All right, good luck with that. Okay, we're gonna get started. Squirrel had a favor. Before I read my 3 leaf books, it reminded him when we were out in the woods by our house of a little book. We want you to be looking along with the leaves for little fur family. Okay, Squirrel likes it because look, you can touch the stomach right here, and it's really furry. So we are going to start with the little fur family, and you never know. Maybe magic will happen when you're out there, and you'll find your own little fur family. Okay, in the woods. By Margaret Wise Brown. There was a little fur family, warm as toast, smaller than most, in little fur coats, and they lived in a warm wooden tree. The little fur father said good morning one day, put on his hat, and he went away out into the little fur world. The little fur mother bathed her fur child, and off he went to play in the wild wood where they lived. Isn't he cute? It was a wild, wild wood. Wildflowers grew all over the ground, and wild winds blew through the air. Whoosh! Wild nuts fell from the wild nut trees, and wild grass tickled the child's nose. Tickled his nose and made him sneeze. Kerchoo! Said the fur child. Kerchoo! The sneeze woke up his grandpa, who lived in a hollow stump, and Grandpa came walking out. Thump, thump, thump. And walked out of his hollow stump and said, well, bless you, my little fur grandson. Every time you sneeze. Kerchoo! Bless you, said the little fur child. Thank you, said his grandpa. Then old grandpa went thump, thump, thump and walked back in his hollow stump. And the fur child went on through the dark and sunny woods till he came to a little river full of fish. Whoa. The fish didn't have any fur. And they didn't have any feet. They swam around. under the river, and the little fur child watched them for a long, long time. Then he reached in the river and he pulled out a fish, and look at it, kerplunk, and he threw it back in the river. He reached into the air and he caught a flying bug and he held it in his hand and he looked at it. The bug didn't have any fur. It was shiny and it had little wings. Zip! And he threw it up into the air. Are you liking this, squirrel? Yes, we know this is one of your favorites. Then he caught a tiny little fur animal, the littlest fur animal in the world. It had warm, silky fur, and it even had a little fur nose. So he kissed it right on its little fur nose, and he put it gently back into the grass. And the tiny, tiny little fur animal ran down in a hole in the ground. See? The sun went down beyond the river, and the sky grew wild and red, and the little fur child turned around and ran for home. He had quite the adventure, didn't he? And just as the darkness got really dark, he bumped into his big fur mother, and she took her little fur child home in her arms and gave him his supper. And there was his father, who put him to bed, and they tucked him in bed, all soft and all warm. And they held his paw and they sang him a song. Sleep, sleep, our little fur child, out of the windiness, out of the wild, sleep warm in your fur all night long. In your little fur family, this is a song. See, he's tucked into bed. The end. All right, we'll put this over here by Squirrel. Let's get started with celebrating those leaves while we're out in the woods. If I were a tree, this book talks about if you got to be a tree, which one would you be? I would personally be the crabapple that we put out in our yard. It's called Harvest Gold and it has bright yellow berries. I was inspired by one on the 3-mile drive at the Arboretum. That's the tree I would be because I think it would cheer people up. If I were a tree, has a dedication to her sister. Here we go. Oh, how would it be if you were a tree? If I were a tree, my favorite colors would be green and yellow and orange and red. If I were a tree, I would have conversations with the sky and the sun and the stars and the moon. How fun would that be? Look carefully at the pictures while I'm reading. There's lots of little things to see. Right, this one's got fish, a dog, a kitty. If I were a tree, I would wave to you whenever the wind blows. How would it be if you were a tree? If I were a tree, I would bring you a burst of blossoms in the springtime, just like my Harvest Gold crab tree. It was beautiful. If I were a tree, I would give you cool shade in the summer. We needed that the other day. If I were a tree, I would show you colorful leaves in the fall. If I were a tree, I would be quiet and still and patient through all winter's chill, and I would let the snowflakes rest on my branches. So how would it be if you were a tree? If I were a tree, I would be a pear tree and bear a season's golden treasure. If I were a lemon tree, then life would be forever sweet. I would be an apple tree so that you could make a pie. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? I would be a cherry tree just to make you cheery. See all those cherries on there? And some birds. I would be a city tree and remind you of the whispers of leaves. Do you ever hear that? I love that sound, don't you? It's very calming. I would be a happy tree and a friend to all the creatures on earth. Lots of them in this page. Look carefully. Turtles and fish and an owl. If I were a tree, my branches would always be full of song and I would cradle a nest for you to come home to. I just found a robin's nest in my yard. I was very excited. 4 blue eggs. Oh yes, if I couldn't be me, it would really be nice to be a tree. And this page is super cool. So if you look close, it says all the different parts of the tree. Here's the trunk. There's the branches. Inside the trunk, there's the sapwood, and it carries the sap from the roots all the way up to the leaves. This is the heartwood, and it gives the tree strength. Right there. Here's the sunshine. With the help of the sun, the leaves make all the food the tree needs, and that is called photosynthesis. Can you see that? And a little note from the author, especially for you today. To be a tree. Grow strong and reach for the sky. Send out roots and make yourself a place. Withstand the winds of all seasons and always welcome those who sing with joy. I like that message. Okay, there it is. If I were a tree. The second book is called A Leaf Can Be, and it talks about all and celebrates all the roles that a leaf plays in all the different seasons. It's kind of fun and it's really poetic. That's why I like it. All right. The first page talks about orioles, which you can start seeing them now. Put out oranges and grape jelly. They will come. A leaf is a leaf. It bursts out each spring when sunny days linger and orioles sing. They're beautiful orange color, see? High up in the trees. A leaf can be a soft cradle, a water ladle, I'll make sure you can see the pictures. A sun taker and a food maker. A tree topper and a rain stopper. A skin welter and a bat shelter. You see that? I love the pictures in this book. A shade spiller and a mouth filler. Look at that giraffe chomping. People eat leaves too. Have you had spinach today? And lettuce? I know I have. Air cleaner and earth greener. A leaf is a leaf, a bit of a tree, but when cool days come chasing, it also can be a wind rider and a lake glider. And a pile grower and a hill glower. How many of you remember raking leaves in the fall? Or all the colors that it turns in autumn, all the different colors. the leaves change to. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yes. A frost catcher and a moth matcher. See, the moths look just like leaves and they can hide. Isn't that frost pretty? A fine healer and a snake concealer. See that? A ground warmer and a nest former. That's one of my favorite pages. Lots of nests in that tree. A leaf is a leaf, a bit of a tree. Now go and discover what else it can be. In the end, has lots of cool facts on leaves. You'll have to see when you stop in the library someday soon when we're all together again. You can see it in person. There it is. All right, my friends, if you can stay with us, with Squirrel and I, we'd like to finish today's story time celebrating leaves with one of our favorite books, The Giving Tree. And it's all about giving and loving. So here we go. We'll end with this today. The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein, one of my favorite authors. I bet he's one of yours too. All right. Once there was a tree. You see, there we go. And she loved a little boy. Here's his foot. He's coming. There he is. And every day the boy would come. And he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. And he would climb up her trunk, really tall. And he would swing from her branches. Do you like to do that? Do you like to climb trees? I bet you have a favorite. So I want you to think about that tree right now. And he would eat the apples. And then would play hide and go seek. There he is right there. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. Right there. It looks pretty cozy. And the boy, loved that tree. Very, very much. And the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older. And the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come, climb up the trunk, swing from my branches, eat my apples, play in my shade, and be happy." "Oh, I'm too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Could you give me some money?" "Oh, I'm sorry," said the tree. "I have no money. I only have leaves and apples. Take my apples and sell them. Then you will have money, and you will be happy." Let's see, there he is. He's growing up. And so the boy climbed up the tree, gathered her apples, and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. Then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy and said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy. Oh, I'm too busy to climb trees, said the boy. I want a house to keep me warm, he said. I want a wife and children, so I need a house. Can you give me a house? I have no house, said the tree. The forest is my home, but you can cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy. And the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a very long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy. She could hardly speak. Come, boy, come and play. Oh, I'm too old and sad to play, said the boy. I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat? Well, cut down my trunk and make a boat, said the tree. Then you can sail away and be happy. And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy. But not really. After a long, long time, the boy came back again. I'm so sorry, boy, said the tree, but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. Well, my teeth are too weak for apples, said the boy. Oh, but my branches are gone. Well, and you won't be able to swing on them. I'm too old to swing on the branches, said the boy. Oh, my trunk is gone, said the tree. You cannot climb. Oh, I'm too tired to climb, said the boy. I'm sorry, sighed the tree. I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I'm just an old stump. I'm sorry. I don't need very much now, said the boy. Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I'm very tired. Well, said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down. Sit down and rest. And the boy did. And the tree was happy. So it would make Squirrel and I very happy if you go out and discover your own favorite leaves on a nature walk today. We'll see you next week.